like yourself to showcase your work at events like this.
It's a great way to give exposure to the Haitian people.
So I'm J.R. Rivera, and I'm here at the Art of Black Miami.
It's not a conclusive work. I made it so it could start conversation.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Dina Adine. We are at the opening kickoff reception.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Dimitri. I'm here with Art of Black at Basil Bay.
Follow artofblackmiami.com, of course, on their website, and the hashtag artofblackmiami.
Hello, everyone. I was back behind the scene doing a little dance in there because the music was so hot. Again, I have to thank our sponsors, the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau, affectionately known as GMCDB, and their celebration of Black art every December. As you could see from the video, Art of Black is just one of the most dynamic Miami-Dade County focused but tourism driven event that happens each year. So definitely inspire you to get thinking about all of the activities you can do during Art of Black. So without further ado, let me tell you why I invited our next guest. Her name is Lakeshia Grays, and she's with Beauty Supply Express. I happened to meet her at a panel discussion. And first of all, her energy is really infectious. You can tell she's very passionate about her business. But also, she's in that business space. She's in that beauty space. But she's found a different niche from other beauty entrepreneurs. And I thought that was just very creative and definitely a pivot opportunity. So without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce her. Hi there, Lakeshia. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me today, Ms. Stephanie.
Thank you. Thank you for being here today. We had a little mix up last week. It was my fault. So I do really appreciate her and thank her a lot for agreeing to do this again this week. So let's start with, who are you and what do you do?
My name is Lakeshia, and I'm just the mom. I like to just say that because nowadays moms do everything.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just first say I'm a mom first, entrepreneur second. I have a beauty mobility ecosystem. I did found a different niche. Unlike other beauty supply owners, I wanted to be the resource or the back-end support system for them, just like the delivery company. So my ecosystem is a field of technology, apprenticeship, and mobile fleets.
Okay. Which, yeah, that's what I was so intrigued by, really, because as you know, during COVID, it's interesting, during, economic downturns, there are some industries that seem to survive very well. And ironically, beauty is one of them. So even in COVID, people were buying lipsticks, hair color, it's a bit of a challenge for professionals. So I guess I want to know what was the thing that got you into the back end portion of it, where you saw the value and opportunity there, and how has that continued to be successful even during economic downturns?
So what works for me is that, first off, I was the customer. So by having 18, 19 years in brand strategy and marketing, I already knew how to market to me. So when I built the business again was built based on my pain points. I suffered a lot growing up with insecurities, gaining my weight, not being able to get my hair done, my nails, just all type of things. And in the music world, if you may know, when you're into the public relations and event coordination, there's never enough time for you, let alone be a mom. So it was, I had this one situation. This is how the beauty supply delivery started. I was at a home hairstylist. So I know a lot of stylists now have pivoted back to the homes. Back then, originally, I used to get my hair done outside of someone's home. And it was not that I didn't prefer to go to the salons. For me, it was more about convenience because I had to get here, and here. So I've always went to a home hairstylist, nail tech, anything you name it. Even if they have their licenses, most of the salon owners will still do hair at home a few years ago. So I was literally running out of hair, and I had to go. At that time, I was doing an event for Young Dolph, who was my client. God rest in peace him. He was a client at that time, and we had a meet and greet. But I needed to get my hair done right before that meet and greet. And when you're dealing with celebrities, you're dealing with the cameras, media exposure, you want to look a certain way. Again, going back to my full story, I suffered with insecurities very young. So I wanted to make sure if I'm out there representing somebody else, especially an A-list client, I wanted to look the best part. And I ran out of hair, and she had, obviously, hairstylists are people too. So she had a prior engagement too. So we ran into a pickle, and she said, you know what, see if you could get somebody to bring you the hair, because I can't let you get out of the chair and go. Right. It's your event, and I'm going to miss my event. And I was like, okay. So I sent my mom to get the hair. And prior to that, I have experience working with artists and brands before. So my first Uber experience was in Atlanta. DJ Tony Neal, who's on Hot 105, I think it was on the Ricky Smiley show, Tony Neal. We went to the Courier tree, and he said, hey, Lakeshia, you want to see something cool? So he showed me his app, and literally a limousine car pulled up. A chauffeur, his hat on, his toaster, and I was like, what is that? He said, hey, this is the next thing. So in 2000, I want to say 14, 15, I already experienced what Uber would look like. And fast forwarding back to the experience in the chair, I started working on, well, why can't we have somebody drop off the hair? So my first actual delivery was a cash delivery in 2017. Okay. I attended the New Me Accelerated cohort down here in Miami with Angela Benton. Okay. In the tech world, you probably met her already. And then from there, she gave me some, because she's been in tech for a while. Right. As a mentor, she gave me the most prominent advice that I would never ever forget. She said, you don't have any overhead. Without really telling me exactly what that meant, because I didn't come from a technological background. I just know marketing. So from the time I attended the New Me Accelerator in 2017 and 18, I've been building out this entire ecosystem of trial and error, because it never existed. Right. Exactly. And I remember when COVID happened, I was like, you know what? This is my time to actually push delivery. So I did make some money from deliveries with COVID. I did try to scale it with the other partnerships. But again, you have the small entrepreneur, you have the corporate entrepreneur. So I tried to do a partnership with Beauty Exchange. They say we'll do our own deliveries after a week or so. And then so I ran into a lot of that. But then they're not even delivering beauty products because it's so intricate. So they stopped the beauty supply delivery. And a lot of people ask me, how am I able to continue? It was never about just delivering products. What I was building was an entire ecosystem to service a specific audience. And that's for mothers with neurodivergent children and disabilities. Again, in 2019, when COVID first happened, I had just gave birth to my son, Nikolai. He was 1 pound, 7 ounces, born in a NICU. And I remember this very vividly. I was already working on the business. And I saw when the world, you know, sometimes you block the world out. You're so focused into your business, you don't know what's going on. So everybody was like, you're not afraid of COVID? You don't see this? And I'm just like, nope. God just told me to go outside, get all these stores to sign up, get the salon owners to understand, hey, this is what you need to do. This is and nobody really listened. And what I find surprisingly now, Janice Howardy, she's the first Black billionaire I actually studied. She started a personal assistant, like a staffing company. And she said, the world may not be ready for your idea. Doesn't mean it's a bad idea. Right. It just, I agree with that. Right. I agree with that. So, it may take some time for them to catch up. Yes. So when I meditated on a lot, because as I'm seeing now, with the alignment of everything that's happening, I saw this happening 4 years ago. So God was preparing me to have this developed. So for when the pivot happens, the people that make the most money, the minorities, salon owners, beauty supply store owners, lash boutique, body sculpt, anybody that does anything beauty, they'll have the same technology software to join as a delivery company or the food restaurants. And I didn't just stop with the software, but it did just start with delivery.
And I do want to get to that ecosystem concept, but before that, who would be your client? Is it an individual like me who needs to, like an Uber, use this app to get what I need? Or is it a beauty salon owner? Or is it a
everyone
retailer? Or all of the above?
It's everyone. That's why it's an ecosystem. So what we didn't just go, we could have just pulled individual salons like in before. That's how I originally was doing it. I was originally going in and pulling the salons. But when I looked at it from a nationwide aspect of how many children are born with disabilities, I started thinking about my son's future more so than anybody getting deliveries, right? Because delivery would probably phase out, but service and production won't. So what I implemented in the ecosystem is not only the apprenticeship program where students from 18 to 24, they can go to school for free. The apprenticeship program is building now. We're doing a call to action for all the salon owners and the retail store owners to join the apprenticeship program, because our partnership with Miami-Dade Public Schools and Courier Source will alleviate some of those new employee costs for them with the program funding that they have for this particular program. And not only that, a lot of salons and retail store owners are struggling with finding people to work because there's so many other things to do. So we found a way to, competitively, I want to say, pay beauty professionals coming out of school between $17 and $21 an hour. But at the same time, they also get work experience. They get a mentor in the field of beauty that they're going in. And the salon owners, they get enthusiastic, educated in retail, management, sales, branding and marketing, and mobility apprentices to join their program, which does a number of things for them as far as managing their social media, as far as running, if they deliver products out of their salons, the apprentices are equipped to do mobile runs. They're equipped to do mobile appointments. We also are working on a partnership. We have a pilot with Freebie Rideshare right now. So, if they're in a Coral Gables area, you have where you can go on a Freebie Rideshare app and request a free salon ride to and from the salon.
Wow. Okay.
So we piloted that project July 31st. It's active up now. What we're trying to do is a long-term partnership with Freebie to take mothers and kids with disabilities to and from the salons of their choice in their local areas, because they already get people to and from their essential destinations anyway. So that's something that we're working on. And again, even the salons joining the apprenticeship program, they'll be able to, in the future, have that freebie rideshare component to and from the salons. But again, that's up in the air. But right now, only in the Coral Gables area is where it's live.
So if I'm to understand correctly, you generate revenue through both. One of your streams of income is the delivery piece, and then the second stream of revenue is the apprenticeship. But the freebie offering is just a sponsorship to support the apprenticeship. Am I correct?
So no, the freebie initiative is to support my target audience to and from the salons. Okay. So their mothers, I don't know if you ever been around kids with autism, but kids with autism, when moms take them to the salon, they run all over the place. They'll fall out. So it's not really a safe space that you can take your child. And you're going to be looking over your shoulders like 5 seconds. You can't hold them while you're getting your services. Right.
Right.
So the freebie rideshare initiative is so the moms can get to and from the salon safely with a contracted driver by the county, and also to help reduce some of those sexual assault issues and ride shares and things like that. Because if it happens to a person who functions normally, I can imagine how parents and mothers feel with their 18 or 19-year-old neurodivergent child. So that's why we push that initiative so they can get to and from the salon safely.
But that's more of a program, not necessarily what you're generating revenue off of.
No, that's just our community.
Okay, that's just a side. Okay.
The apprenticeship program, we're not generating revenue from that either. I created the program because I am on the advisory board of Lindsay Hopkins cosmetology program for about 6 years. I've seen so many students get their certification, then they come back and then they're getting another certification, and then they can't start a business because of the salons and the stores require 2 years minimum. So I wanted to fix that issue, that workforce component. I wanted to fix
see what you're saying.
So they can get out of school and go strictly into the workforce. The county, everybody is helping me so much on that. So that I don't make any money off the apprenticeship. I did the apprenticeship to help my students find jobs. And I did the apprenticeship program so my salon owners can find reliable and enthusiastic workers.
And
so
that's your give back.
That's my
as your corporate giving. Okay, nice.
We make money off the beauty runs and off the mobile services.
Who is your largest client? I mean, where do you get the majority of your clientele from? Is it retailers? Is it beauty salons, or is it individuals?
Individuals.
Really?
So, yeah, the individuals, believe it or not, you may know, I have a lot of people now, even in Michigan, they're saying, oh my God, I wish this service was up here now. I need my manicure done. So you don't really realize you need that service until you see it.
Right.
And a lot of times, tourists come here, they don't know where all the salons and things are.
Right.
So tourists is our audience. You have moms, entrepreneurs who just don't have enough time in a day. So when we say mothers and individuals for neurodivergent families, yes, that's who I'm targeting. That's my audience. I made it for us. I made it for me. But everybody uses the service. Anybody can order a beauty run.
So how would I find out about your services besides the technical part, which I assume is an app? How else would I find out about your services? Would my beauty salon stylist tell me? What's your main method of marketing?
My main method of marketing is with public sector. So you will probably find out. I work closely with the public sectors. I am not going to each individual salons. It's thousands of salons. So what I did was, and this is how I found my niche. God told me to simplify my business. So because my business was so complex, I knew that my business was for each individual state. So I pitched my business directly to public sectors for their mobility solutions and apprenticeship programs.
Okay. So I guess, if I'm about to get a little personal now, but we just in the interest of let everybody knowing, I asked if I had permission to do this prior to. You mentioned you have a child who is special needs. You weren't joking. Motherhood is no joke. And, I ask a lot of mothers about how are you able to develop operations as an entrepreneur and be a mother too. I can only imagine that's amplified 10, 20, 30 times because you have to have such a structured life when it comes to a special needs child. How have you been able to develop operations within your business that allows you to do both?
Time management.
Talk about
having an early schedule. So before, I used to wake up like everybody else, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and just try to crunch everything through. Now I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I start my days, and I go to sleep at 9 o'clock. And it works better for me to have those extra few hours in the morning because all I have to do is get up, worship, and work. So a lot of the times when it's time for Nikolai to go to therapy, because he does have therapy 6 hours a day, the therapy is literally at my home. So I get all of his ABA, PT therapy home.
Okay.
And my other son's school is literally around the corner.
Okay.
So, you know, I just made most of my meetings aware that I have an autistic child. A lot of them know that. So most I give them, you know, hey, I can do in-person meetings anytime before 12.
Okay.
And if it's, you know, anytime after that, it needs to be on Zoom. So I try to make my schedule work around his schedule.
Okay.
And pretty much dinner is done at probably 12 o'clock. So I try to do everything before he gets home.
Okay.
And that way we have time, and about time 9 o'clock hit, I can help with homework or whatever, everything that needs to be done, and I'm to bed.
So is that in your business, you know, everybody's had to pivot and change, and I imagine COVID, you know, threw a little kink in everybody's business, but is that the largest pivot you've had to make while growing this business?
I'm getting ready to do the largest pivot. So I will have to be in between Florida and Detroit.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, Detroit.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I've been speaking with Michigan State Mobility Chief Officer about bringing, they're very interested in bringing my company there because of the demographics and because of what, you know, what Michigan stands for, which is automotive and mobility. So I'm truly honored with that. I would say that's going to be the most difficult point because my kids would be here in school and then I would have to travel back and forth. So I haven't really been away for them like that.
How did you make that connection that Michigan was your next location?
So
was that part of your strategy, or
no, that was God? That was God. So I'll give you two things. So I went to Commotion, Miami. I have to give a big shout out to Daniela Cava, the mayor's office.
The new mayor. Oh, well, she's not new. She's just real elected.
Yeah, but Strive 305.
Yes.
That
really? Great.
It's amazing. Yes.
Great.
So I had a one-on-one talk with Danilo Vargas. We strategized. Like he's really good at branding. Gave me a couple of book recommendations, and then I started thinking about my why, who I was doing it for. So as I started telling my story more, and you know, actually started getting out there, networking with people in the public sector and things like that, I ended up getting in Commotion, Miami this year. At I think it was at Miami-Dade Wilson campus.
Okay.
So prior to that, I went to that event as a guest, like a press pass, just to see. And that year was almost 3 years ago, and that's when I met Freebie then 3 years ago.
Okay.
When they saw me again in Commotion, Miami, that made the partnership go a little bit further with Freebie this year.
Okay.
So I got it with the partnership with the pilot with Freebie. And then I was in a couple of rooms, and it was a lady speaking. Her name is Justine Johnson. She was speaking about, you know, the ecosystems, everything that Michigan has to offer and things like that. And I'm good at looking at like data research and brand research. So I'm going to look and see the U.S. census. I'm going to see my population, my target audience. I'm really good at knowing where I want to go. And I remember on my marketing plan, I never had Detroit because Detroit was, you know, a lot of people didn't move there. Right. But surprisingly, they're really gearing everything as far as everything they got towards workforce, because that's probably going to be the #1 center for the EV vehicles and all of these things that's going to happen in the future. So I went to Commotion, Miami, and heard her speak. She's a great woman, a woman of her word. I briefly spoke with her about if, you know, Detroit needed something like this, you know, in Detroit, as far as workforce, mobility, innovation. And she said, yeah, would you be willing to relocate? And I was like, yeah, God wants me to go everywhere with this business. And within maybe like 2 or 3 months, I had a meeting, had a follow-up. She referred some people. She really kept her word. And then now I'm being certified right now for mobility in Detroit.
So, which is, again, is kind of interesting in that I think in the business that you've chosen, sort of this back end, you do have that ability to be flexible and maybe ultimately be national versus someone who owns a salon. They're kind of locked into that clientele and location. So it's, I
Which
mean,
is
it's
why
very,
we push mobility. I remember when I did the Deco Drive story in 2019. I was telling people then, please go mobile. You're gonna
right.
thank me later. It's everyone knows that brick and mortar is not it anymore. Less is more. So how can I saw them? I saw all of the business going up. I was so proud, but I knew it was a catch-22 with
Right.
inflation. And I saw this. So now people are struggling to not only keep their salons open and their doors open, but they're
Right.
also struggling to keep a roof over their head if they would have just made the pivot, you
But
know?
it's interesting. I've been seeing lately, and as a matter of fact, my stylist actually just relocated to one of these sort of co-working spaces for salons. And like that's a thing now. And even she was just like, apparently this is a thing. Of course, what I like about it is, you get some services that can now be split among others. But is this really a better opportunity for those in the beauty business, or is it just sort of a different way to get a lot of rent?
Co-working spaces are okay, but you're still paying rent, right? On top of your rent. The way mobility works is, you get access to all of the people in Florida, all of the people within 30 miles of you.
Right.
There's literally 2.7 million people in Miami-Dade right now who are not probably regular citizens, right? They're all from different backgrounds. So if I don't know that you're in that co-working space, right?
That's true.
How would I shop with you?
That's true. Somebody's got to tell you.
Everybody is on an
Right.
app. The
Right.
beauty industry needs to be on the app. The services needs to be on the app. Just like we can order pizza, we should be able to order press-on nails. We should be able to order everything like that. And I saw that, going, you have Instacart, they do beauty delivery. You have DoorDash. A lot of them, they're delivering products. But here's the catch. They're delivering products but not licensed beauty professionals, so they don't know what product they're picking up, whether or not.
That's true. You're right. That's somebody like me that don't know what I'm doing.
You're delivering beauty products, not being protected, like clothes supply protected, because it's Miami. It could get 95, 105 degrees. You think a delivery driver for food is going to insulate your beauty products so they won't melt? He doesn't know that. There's no training for that.
Right.
So what if you have a hair appointment? And I know, the other delivery appointments, apps, you can skip that. You can prioritize your delivery, right? So then now you're waiting.
You have your hair meet you there.
And it smelled like French fries. Oh, it smelled like pizza. So those are things that I know, people haven't really thought about. That's why I kept pushing a business for us. It could be 1,000,001 people do a beauty supply delivery. That's more of a reason to go service people. But it's how you deliver and who you're delivering to. Like, we target tourists, like I said, mothers. We also have a partnership with Florida Department of Transportation right now. They are working on piloting out our mobile salons.
Okay.
And that's going to be a great game changer because we hope to have sensory rooms on the salons for the moms with kids with neurodisabilities can safely and comfortably get their salon services, and their kids can be there, or vice versa. You may have a woman who has a child with a disability and wants to go to our apprenticeship program and want to work on a salon fleet. She can do both, because that salon fleet will also have a sensory room there where she can take her child to work. Yes.
So I have said this before. I am really impressed with the beauty industry for that reason. no matter whether there's a hurricane, there's a pandemic, this is a business that always thrives and survives. I took an emergency class once, a workshop once, where the woman was asking what are some of the industries that survive disaster, and definitely people said education, government, and nonprofits, and then beauty. It is like that's true. I mean, what do you think? What can you? I love to ask the person in the beauty industry. Why do you think that is? What do you think propels that industry to always be able to adapt, shift,
Because it's in
survive?
our intrinsic value. God gives us all gifts. And a lot of the times people are gifted with their hands. So
Right.
beauty, if you think about even like in the ancient days, beauty was always there. Like it was
Mhm.
always there. So with this new generation of TikTok and YouTube and all of this, these new millennials, how they're learning fast and they understand digital marketing, beauty was never going to die out. It's never
Right.
going to die out, and that's what made me push the initiative for them to see. Because if I didn't, then we wouldn't have an industry
Right.
with this new niche. Because
Right.
if they choose to, we all know about the war, the threats, and everything that's happening. So if they choose to close the borders from China, Japan, Korea, this is where we get our hair from.
Right. Right. Exactly. Like during
So
COVID, I can imagine that was like how because
So
I
a lot of the
know.
businesses are going to suffer as far as the hair vendors. So what I wanted to do is not only create a more resilient supply chain here for the locals who are in business, because we have a lot of people coming in, but they don't know they exist. So that's why the technology piece was permanent for me. And then also just getting our people to understand if we create this new lane, this new niche, then we too can start manufacturing here. Which is why, I'm also speaking with Florida VR for vocational rehabilitation to potentially develop like a press-on manufacturing facility.
All right.
That way, neurodivergent individuals like kids with autism, because they love arts and drawing and nails,
Right.
they can actually get hired. I want to hire them because I want somewhere for my son to work. So
Right.
that's something that that just fell on my lap this week. So it is a 5-year project they're trying to bring me in on. But that's something else that, God wanted me to do it. So I have to get it done. So it's a lot of things are in place for just the beauty supply. It's a lot in place, not only just for the beauty supply store owners, it's the salon owners, it's the students, and it's also mothers with kids with disabilities, and also those kids with disabilities who are of age, who are into nails, beauty, and art, and they can actually have a place to work with us.
And I love that idea of crafting something for your son and ergo others like your son. I think that's an amazing mission. I'm looking at your ecosystem partnerships that seem to be some pretty heavy hitters. You mentioned a couple like Freebie and the Florida VR, and also Mayor Cava, Beacon Council, Career Source, FDOT, City of Coral Gables, and Miami-Dade Public Schools. Do you have a business plan or a strategic plan or a growth plan? And was establishing these partnerships a part of that plan? Or these have just been good graces that have served to help you grow your mission?
So everything was strategic. Again, I have a background in branding and marketing.
Okay.
So when I wrote down my business plan, I
want you to say that again. You got that is strategic.
So everything that I did was strategic because I have 18 years in brand marketing and strategy for other brands. Okay. So for me to do this for myself, it was a walk in the park. Mm-hmm. I can do marketing in my sleep. So what the little advice I would give anybody is to make sure your mission aligns. So if I partner with anyone, it has to be not only in my marketing plan, but if they're in my marketing plan, they need to align with my mission. A lot of times people look to partner and and market themselves with other companies just because they have the title or it's a big brand, but sometimes it don't go with your brand, right? So it won't be as effective. So I would tell anybody, the little key pointer that I would give is to make sure your missions always align with their mission. And if your mission aligns with their mission, there's no way you're gonna get a no.
Okay. So what's next? Is this a brand you hope to see nationally? And I know that's a long statement since you just going into your second state. But is it something you feel could be a national opportunity, an international opportunity? I mean,
Well,
honestly, I don't see why it couldn't be.
Two states because I'm giving the other state the apprenticeship component too. If I was
Okay.
just dropping the delivery app, I could be in all 50 states at once.
Yes.
But I'm not doing that as of yet because I feel like where a lot of other delivery companies are failing is because they hire anybody.
Right.
And they don't have anybody trained. So in order to I like to say my mom used to always say, just take your time when you do things because sometimes when you rush something, you may miss something. So I'm just grateful, that I do have the opportunity to be simultaneously going between two states. And once I master that, then I'm pretty sure the rest of the other 48 states will be seamless.
Well, I wish you best of luck, actually. And I thank you again for being so flexible with me. Before we go, I want to find out, how can we find you?
I am on LinkedIn under Lakeshia Grays. I am on Instagram. The business is on Instagram at underscore beauty run. Not underscore. I'm sorry. It's at the beauty runners. That's plural underscore. And I think I'll drop it in the chat too. And our website is www.bsexpress, and that's Boy Sam Echo express.co, and it's .co.
Okay.
And we're on Facebook as Beauty Supply Delivery.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. And I got to say, when I heard what you were doing, like I said, I was like, I don't think I've ever heard anybody that delivers beauty products. That's a really good idea.
Thank you.
So they always tell you to find a business that's, that has a need based on a need. And you did it. You really did that.
I believe that the mission was so much bigger than that. If it was just delivering products, I probably would have been a millionaire. Probably would have stopped at the app. But I don't think it was just the delivery. He wanted me to uplift a race of people, minorities in this space, and also have us, pivot, because this next season is going to be economically challenging if we don't pivot the right way. So
right. I'm going to put everybody, I'm going to put in the comments her website, so you'll see that and that'll show up on social media. Thank you again, and I will be definitely in touch with you. Maybe if not for the delivery, I still want to hear what's going on with Detroit. And if you're doing anything exciting here, let me know. Send it to me. I'll share it.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Have a good day.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Bye-bye. So everybody, I want to thank you all for tuning in again today. Like I said, I thought that was such an interesting, unique business, and definitely lets you know that you can definitely find opportunity and create a business around anything if you just are creative enough. Thank you. I hope you'll tune in again. By the way, I wanted to announce that on September 5th, we are doing another one of our Bootstrap to Millions show. That's in person, but it will be streamed as well. But we hope you'll come out to the Center of Black Innovation. It's going to be at 7:00. There's a little networking session. We get a chance to hang out. And the entrepreneur that we're going to be interviewing is the one and the only Felicia Hatcher, who is made her way to being highly successful, starting with popsicles and then into the tech space, and now doing some phenomenal stuff with Black Ambition. So really hope you will come out in person, meet and greet everybody. Check it out at Eventbrite. It's Just Talking Business, Bootstrap to Millions with Felicia Hatcher. And we'll also stream it here. So that's September 5th. And you all have a fantastic evening. Bye-bye.